Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of Yapping Oracles. I have the perfect guest for casting the vibe of this podcast. Sam Scharrer, rhymes with star, is a professional vibe caster and creative consultant to the magical, mystical kind. Her work combines the spiritual and strategic, crafting electric brand identities that truly spark joy. Commonly, people come to Sam when they're ready to bring an idea to life, whether that's a merch line, a website, or an entire brand universe. She designs logos, printed and digital collateral, and world building visuals, blending it all together with archetypical storytelling that turns concepts into living, breathing brands. You can tune into the vibration of the Vibe Nation at vibe-caster.com or on Instagram and threads at vibecaster, vibe.caster. Thank you. All of Sam's links will be in the description. Obviously, before we dive into the Yap Sesh, what are we sipping on? Contrary to all of Lil Wayne's advice, I'm asking, Sam, what's in your cup?
First, I have to give you so much credit because you crushed that intro. When I was writing it, I'm like, oh man, this is a lot to say, but no, you nailed that.
Thank you.
Performer. They're a performer. Right now I'm over caffeinated as usual. I'm drinking black coffee, and water.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I have similarly like over caffeinated drinks. I have an iced caramel mocha contraption I made today. Not bad, not great. I have a like super probably disgusting tea. I feel like anytime I talk about tea, I have to give this like disclaimer that I make crazy ass strong teas. And specifically if I'm doing like any voice stuff or like talking for a long time, I want something like really bitter. So I have like rose hips, hawthorn berries, lavender, rose, tulsi, and like 2 extra bags of peppermint and microplastics because like
yes,
it's fine. And then I have lovely iced water in my new autism cup. So yay.
I love it. I love an autism cup. I'll show you mine. It's like this it's a vessel that's meant for rendering stock.
Perfect. Can I just say that is the most Sam cup I think someone could drink out of? Like, that is so fucking perfect. And it kind of highlights one of my favorite qualities about you. I don't think I've met someone more deserving of the title of like reclamation and thrifting queen, monarch, regent. Like, truthfully, you have thrifted such cool shit that I have just seen on the internet. And like,
thank you.
It is a badass talent that I don't think gets enough shine. So I'm going to highlight it.
Thank you. My goblet self is like giddy at that. I feel like a crow person where I'm like, ooh, shiny thing. I'd collect you. Yeah. But
Mood.
Yes.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about Vibecaster and how you got to become the caster of vibes?
Dang. We're going into origin stories.
Yeah, very easy start. Casual.
Yeah, very casual. What's the tea? Also, what's the tea? Damn. How did I start casting vibes? I feel like I was just speaking with somebody about this, that like neurodivergent inherent ability to just like check the vibe and make it accommodate you. So I just remember, like, I don't know if we're going way back of Vibecaster inception, is that like making beautiful spaces, watching my mom like move furniture. She's like big into feng shui. I don't think she calls it that, but like shifting the energy of a room by all these objects. I think that's also where some of that thrift witchery comes into play, where it's like, oh, I grew up with somebody that just knows, like, I don't know if my mom would consider herself an animist, but I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, the animism, maybe that's where it started.
Truly, it all starts with animism, doesn't it?
Very casual. Are you an animist, Dom?
I feel like I can't not be. It's never something that I'm like, I don't know. It's not a label I truly affix to myself. I don't think it communicates enough when I'm like using this kind of thing, but like I definitely am an animist, and I'm like going and talking to the things at the thrift store. I think
Mhm.
everything has like a place and a spirit and a vibe.
Yes.
Like even like to relate it astrologically, I think truly everything has a placement where it's exalted in for a time.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And like, I don't know, energy wants to move and stuff. And so like that's true of objects as well.
Mhm.
And I don't know about you, but with like divination tools, that also comes into play.
Mm.
Samar of
Uh-huh.
Installment Doula and I were talking about this recently, where
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh, I had all these decks and some of them, they just don't like feel like me anymore or
Yeah.
like useful to me. So I pass them on. And the like
Ooh,
distribution system is like, I don't know, it just feels good to be able to like
that's
circulate your
nice.
magic somewhere.
That is, and like honestly, especially with tarot decks, because there's such a culture around like you're not supposed to buy your first tarot deck and stuff that I think like while I don't agree with it, I do
Mhm.
think that there's something really beautiful about like this deck was loved and cared for by somebody else. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe I just like shelter cats or something. I don't know.
That's what it feels like, right? Because it's like, oh no, I'm not going to get rid of this deck, even though it's not
Yeah,
for me. I want it to find like its perfect little home. And like, yeah, same thing. It's like,
exactly.
I want you to be loved and adored and taken care of. I'm not the person to do that and facilitate that. So, yeah.
We'll pass you. We'll send you where you need to go.
Yeah.
So I have a question that is more like me being nosy than anything else. But recently on Threads, you've been sharing a little bit more about your devotion to Artemis and Eris as like patron goddesses, and that's something
Mhm.
that like pricked my little ears up, and I'm like, hmm. Um, so my first question here is like, how do you describe your relationship to those patrons, and like,
Mhm.
what has your experience with them been generally?
Hmm. Hmm. This is a great question.
I also love that like Artemis is here because she's so queer coded already, and I think a lot of people
Mhm.
don't associate a like degree of queerness to Eris either, but both of them come together, and I'm like, this is like kind of the dream mommy pair. Like I totally see this for Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so real. Well, and it's like, oh, they come together. Yes, they do.
Good
um,
for them.
period. Uh, I guess I'll start with Artemis because I think I can most clearly identify my relationship with her.
Hmm.
And to give you a little bit of background on like my family life, my
Hmm.
dad is like very stereotypical, like cis white man.
Yep.
And so, you know, like when you see Father's Day stereotypes where it's like, oh, get him golf clubs or like fishing gear and stuff like that, like he falls into that stereotype very like
Nice.
that's his vibe. So a hunter, a fisherman,
Hmm.
somebody who was always outdoors. And I think where Artemis comes into my life is like a little bit of the glass ceiling that I faced in
Ooh.
experiencing those environments as a femme presenting person
Uh-huh.
with my dad. So he took my brother on hunting trips and not me. And if it was
Ah.
like a family camping trip, like, I don't know, there's always this weird division, it seemed like,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh, well, the wilderness is for men, not you girls or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like you're scaring the fish because you're talking too much on the boat or stuff like that.
Just regular misogyny, you know.
Yep, exactly. And I adore Artemis because I think her presence is like completely um subverting that,
Yeah.
like being feral, being that like I don't know, safe warrior guardian
Hmm.
for the nymphs to play and for like the hounds to howl and to just, you know, be your more uninhibited self.
Yeah.
And then that's where I, you know, come into play with Eris,
Hmm.
because I think as the goddess of chaos, I love that energy so much because it's like an energy of opportunity.
Hmm.
Sometimes chaos can be like a net negative, sometimes it's a neutral, sometimes it's a positive,
Yeah.
but I love my curious self so much. And like, I think chaos and working with it has dismantled the fear that comes with uncertainty.
Ooh.
And that's why I like working with Eris.
I love that. Can I just like visually, like, your background for those who aren't like listening is like one of those electric orbs that you'd put your hand on and all like the electricity goes to it.
Plasma
That as
ball.
like a metaphor for your like spirituality feels so apt. All I could think about when you were like the glass ceiling of being a girl is like that glass has been like molded into the sphere and now like gives the chaos a space to play in.
Ooh. You should do branding. Like, one of these days we're gonna have the merch line. We're gonna, like,
It's
your
all cooking.
juicy brain is so good with these little things that I want to bring to life.
Seriously, there's a lot in here. Sometimes I feel
Yes.
like a stream where like
Mhm.
periodically I say good things. We'll see. I'm
Clock's
always happy
right
to create.
twice a day. A
Um,
broken clock. Yeah.
literally. My like immediate follow up to that is how do you like experience them like tangibly, both in a practical sense, like in like
Mhm.
maybe even a ritual setting, and then
Mhm.
like do they have a like IRL counterpart for you like in your everyday life? Is there a like I
Mhm.
see this thing, I think of Artemis. I do this,
Mhm.
I think of
Mhm.
Eris, that kind of thing.
Yes. For Artemis, I think like the common uh symbols are like
Mhm.
the moon and hunter, like archery type iconography,
Mhm.
dogs. I adopted a puppy this year, and I've always loved animals, but like now it's like, this is my feral little child. I birthed her. She came from
Perfect.
my womb. She's my little baby. And yeah, like, so millennial, like dog mom person. But
She deserves it. Okay, first
yeah,
of all,
yeah.
Ross is fantastic.
I know everybody says that about their dogs, but like,
No, it's
mine's
true.
true.
It's true in this case. This time it's fact.
This time it's fact. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's my little familiar. She will pull tarot cards like willingly. It's like if you present her with a deck,
Mm.
if the feeling strikes and the
Mhm.
channel is open, she'll pull cards, and she's just a little sweetie. But yeah, so the dog stuff, like
Uh-huh.
whenever like how a dog has those like underbite and their little
Mhm.
tooth goes up like this, and it looks like they're smiling, and you see their
Mhm.
little canine stick out.
Mhm.
That's Artemis to me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I
So
love
anytime I see
that.
that, I'm like, I love it.
Artemis.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Does Eris have like a comparable thing, or is she just like too chaotic and ethereal to like have a thing?
Mm, the way that like Artemis, or no, sorry, Eris, sorry, Eris. The way that her energy comes to me is in that like electrical sphere that you were talking about, where
Mhm.
it's very unrestrained, and I don't know. I think like there's that kind of curious element of danger to
Mhm.
her. Like, ooh, that looks so cool. I want to touch it, but I shouldn't. Like I really
Ooh.
like that kind of push and pull. And I feel like it's more like a somatic, like
Mhm.
body feeling
Mhm.
when Eris is present. It's if I were to distill it in a GIF, it's the Elmo on fire GIF, you know? Like that's yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm immediately there with you. Yes.
Mhm. And I don't know if like Eris is inherently angry, but I do see like justice
Yeah.
in her sphere. And so like chaos magic, or like the chaos of anything with Eris, is
Mhm.
like I feel like any chaos does get distributed almost like in a westernized karmic way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, Generally, do you consider yourself more of a like a traditional like Hellenic polytheist because obviously it's Artemis and Eris and like we know what part of the world they come from? Or
Yes.
do you color yourself as like more of a unique like practice that you've built together?
Mm, I guess I don't have a framework, and the way that I think about
Mm.
deities and spirit in general is like, okay, this is just the name I have for that energy.
Yeah.
And like, if it chooses to tell me a different
Uh-huh.
energy, a different pronoun or whatever, then like I'll obviously accommodate that.
Yeah.
For the moment, like those types of energies that really resonate with me came through like the Greek pantheon.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that like I think the idea of like having many different energies personified
Hmm.
can also come from my background as like a former Catholic.
Yeah.
So like seeing all the saints and how they interplay and how you can appeal to different angels and campaigns in that way. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I'm open to receiving whatever information is
Yeah.
like meant for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes
I don't know if
sense.
that answers.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And it I think with like generally it really helps to highlight a lot of your work in the sense that there's still this like underlying, or more accurately like a connecting thread, in that these are more archetypical like to you,
Yeah.
and like this is the face or like the vessel being inhabited by this like greater energy, which like maybe is
Mhm.
described by like an archetype but might be too expansive.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, I think that just also if I start to deepen my practice and those things come about, like I'm
Hmm.
open to it
Yeah.
being there. Yeah, but
Fair.
you're so right. Like archetypically speaking, like I think that's why I like working with different spirits and energies in my
Yeah.
work, because it's the same activation that I see with like business, where
Hmm.
you are not your business, you're the steward of your business, and the facilitator, or in some cases like the mother of your
Hmm.
business. You're the one that like brings it into being, you're the creator.
Ooh.
So to be able to separate the two,
Hmm.
just like we do with like in the Greek pantheon,
Yeah.
the muses have all their own embodiments of like, here's the spirit of music and here's
Yeah.
dance and all that. So I don't know, I think it does relate.
I think this really highlights a unique quality about your brand development, and
Mm.
like this brand creation, the vibe nation of it all, in that when you go to people for this kind of service, it's a lot of like, you are your business. A lot of the
Right.
like business classes are like, you are your business, be a part of it, be about it. It's you, it's reflection of you, all of that. But it seems like you make the distinction, and this is something that like I've even experienced firsthand working with you, is that
Hmm.
the business becomes a separate spirit, a separate like entity of itself that we like permit to channel. And I don't think that you first of all get enough credit for how unique of a perspective that is. And
Thank you.
like, let me just say, if you're listening, you're working on brand development and that stuck out to you, link in the description.
Thank you for the plug.
You are
Yeah,
very
witches,
welcome.
work with me now if you want your brand by Halloween.
Truly, truly
Yeah.
get started.
Yeah.
That same regard, what do you think is something that you are underappreciated for? Like, what's the
Mm.
greatest thing you've accomplished, in your opinion, that you have not been appreciated full enough for? Toot your own horn a little for us.
Ooh. Would you be willing to start with your own? Like, I'm
Mm,
curious, like, how you would answer this question.
mm. Oh, that's such a good turnaround because I did not have an answer prepared. So we'll see what comes to me.
Sally. Hmm.
Um, I don't think I'm appreciated enough for my ability to suss things out and like provide a spark of creative influence.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am very good.
Mm-hmm.
I used to like talk with my friend about like psychic downloads or like spiritual information or clairvoyance or
Hmm.
whatever as like being airdropped the idea from God. And that's like how I think
Yeah.
about it in my mind. And that's how it feels, is like, I'm just gonna like bloop, here's the idea. And like it's happened so many times. And I
Yes.
love that there's
Yes.
like a handful of occurrences where like I will post these thoughts like to my feral threads page. And you're like, I'll take that and cook this up. Here you go. Here's a design.
Yes, and that's why it works, why we work.
Truly.
I love that. Yeah, you are underappreciated for that. I think like an asset of your work is your level of objectivity in things as well, because when you are distributing that channeled like download from God, it's not judgmental.
Yeah.
It's basically very matter of fact. Like here's the information. Do with it
Truly.
as you will. Yeah. And it's
Very
not
Aquarian
like,
of me.
which is great. It's great medicine. And I think again that goes back to like you had mentioned a lot of business advice relates to like you being your business, and
Mhm.
a hazard of blending with your business is every failure is seemingly a reflection of your self-worth.
Mhm.
And I've done that to myself and it sucks. And
Truly.
so using the personification of your business almost
Mhm.
like as a sense of armor to protect like you as the human being, um I don't know, just feels like it comes into play.
And it gives you such a good opportunity in development to create like interlocking like things or aspects of the business.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about like crafting universes rather than like I'm making a business, which I think gets really cut up and sterilized into like here's the name, here's the font, here's the logo, which are awesome fucking parts to play with. Let me say, it's awesome to have a font to work with. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
We love tools.
Mm-hmm.
But like adding a layer of complexity and like it feels deeply spiritual, which is appropriate considering like everything you're doing and the brand you've crafted for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um that you create worlds, and it's something that like I think stuck with me the most and was one of the most subtly developmental things that you did in our work together
Mm-hmm.
is like highlighting that this is an entire like area to play in. What does it look like? What is like this one spot we're focusing on connected to? How does it branch
Mm-hmm.
out with the rest of this world?
Mm.
And it's something that I think about frequently. And even with things like the Yapping Oracle, I'm like, how does this fit in the queer Catholic mystic universe?
Yeah.
And like, oh, and like it becomes very visual and very spiritual. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're just like chilling on a couch made of clouds up in
Mm-hmm.
heaven vibing. There's no
Mm-hmm.
press, there's
Mm-hmm.
no stress, there's no mess. We're just here, we're chilling, we're yapping. We got all the
Yeah.
time in the world.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I love that. Mm.
And it just makes like it is such a good way to support businesses being independent and like creators, and specifically like these one witch shows to have
Mm-hmm.
so much power and freedom and flexibility in the
Mm-hmm.
structure in honestly a way that I think only you can. And in all of this I keep seeing that underlying balance between like chaotic creation, influence, art, passion, and like the little bit of structure. And like when I think about like structure with Artemis, I think about like aiming like
Yes.
specifically, and that like
Mm.
there's a focus and a direction more than like a restriction. We're gonna
Mm.
like channel this like energy somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I love that metaphor. And I guess maybe that's informing the underappreciated answer, right?
Yep.
Because you had asked me that and I wasn't sure, but I guess maybe, yeah, I'm underappreciated for the universe building aspect of my work.
Truly.
I mean, I dwell in a couple of different areas, right? Like
Hmm.
within the design sphere, I'm typically the only queer witch in the room. And then in the like witches sphere, I may be one of the only like designers in the room.
Hmm.
So I guess as far as like that world that's more like corporate design, like tech based,
Hmm.
my underappreciatedness is like the world building spiritual aspect.
Oh.
And then for the witchy world, maybe an underappreciated aspect is like providing that structure that you're speaking of.
Hmm.
I kind of think about like the Fool card, where
Yeah.
I want to like invite like the exploration and like just your eyes are straight ahead. They're not on your like on the
Hmm.
ground focused where you're headed. It's like that free spiritedness,
Yeah.
but also having the little dog to be like, that's the edge of the cliff, kid. Like, you know,
Don't literally.
yeah.
You and Rob.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Wow,
Um,
you need a portrait
yeah.
styled in the fool's card with her as soon as possible. I
Oh,
need a photo
ASAP.
shoot.
ASAP. ASAP. You're so right. Photographers,
Truly.
contact
I just
us.
want to build a network of like queer professionals to like, all right, everybody provide services to one another for money and other services.
You know, you're speaking about a dream that I'm trying to create.
Yeah.
The vision for that is called Radiant Gradients. And like,
Ooh.
yeah, having that directory of I'm not the professional copywriter, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm a professional vibecaster. I can help you with your messaging and the like essence and the visual components of things.
Yeah.
But I've worked with plenty of copywriters that are so amazing, and they're still on the vibe, but they have that level of expertise that I don't.
Yeah.
So I fully agree. Like there's a huge need for that Rolodex of folks that are like trusted, magical, spiritual folks, and have the credentials to help you with
Yes.
the other side of things.
How have you like felt about your working and like your foray into creating this queer spaces? Because you've done
Mhm.
things like you co-founded Them Fair, and to be honest, you've connected me to so many other queer people that like you're just kind of the plug. Um
Yeah,
how do you
I
think
love that.
your experiences so far are like feeding into and helping to support that greater dream of making that Rolodex?
Ooh. I like how you use plug because like, I don't know, the language of like electricity comes up a lot in my work. So it's like
Yeah.
plasma ball, plug into things. And I think what you're speaking to is like um how to be conductive, right? So like
Ooh.
if you're this energetic person and you want more of that power within your sphere, like how can I conduct this energy in a meaningful way where it just doesn't burn out? Like
Hmm.
if you're thinking about like an electrical current, like you know you're restarting the battery in your car or something, you
Hmm.
need to ground it so you don't get shocked or you don't
Yep.
overflood the I'm speaking like I know cars. I don't.
No, you're good. I got it.
But
I'm there with you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's maybe that is another underappreciated thing. Like I really enjoy being a conductive, connective person.
Yeah.
Um, and I love, love, love seeing these like talents of other people and then like seeing how it can bring co-creation to the table for them. Like, oh, you're so good at this. You should work with this person or speak with this person because they're so good at this thing. And like
Yeah.
building that network, that universe of people that are amazing.
Yeah, you're like building the grid.
The grid, yeah. See, okay, yeah. We need to do. You have like this great skill of putting words to the visual things. So I don't
Thank
know.
you. Thank
Again,
you. Thank you.
brand design or
Underappreciated.
yeah, yeah, very underappreciated. Like you need to go into some sort of mm, like language consulting. I don't know what the term for it
I
is, but
would
like you're very good
love
at.
I love red penning shit. I love
There
correcting
you go.
language.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'll put it on the radiant gradient list.
Truly.
Go to Dom for naming for that type of thing. Yeah. I
Fair.
mean, I don't know where that exists in the queer Catholic mystic sphere, but you are certainly a messaging mage of some
Ooh,
kind.
a messaging mage. I love that.
Mhm.
Write that down, non-existent assistant.
AI note taker. Are you writing this down? We don't have
Please.
one in the chat. Yeah.
We do not. So my next question, and this is a little bit of silly goose time.
Oh, this wasn't silly goose time up until now.
If you had to pick a supernatural or paranormal piece of media to be your new gender identity, what would it be, and why is it the Love Witch?
Oh, clocked so hard. Why? Even down to like the tampon piss bottle. Like curse the patriarchy. Wow, that's so funny. I also think like okay, the Love Witch and
Mhm,
Elaine is like very present,
mhm.
especially for like that optics side of myself and like that witchy side, yet
Yeah.
experimental and I love that movie. Like the colors of it, the way that it's filmed is like so it's nostalgic, but it was made in 2016.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. But I also feel like I have like campiness
Mhm.
there somewhere, like in the realm of like Young Frankenstein or
Ooh.
Clue
Okay.
or hmm,
I don't know why, but Clue really
Death
fits.
Becomes Her.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, maybe Death Becomes Her is kind of like the gender identity for me a little bit because it really like talks about glamour magic in
Yeah.
a way that I feel how do I want to I almost think of it in the same sense as like Black Swan. It's like a campy Black Swan,
Ooh,
you
yeah.
know? So like I can see a perfectionist side of myself, like just running myself ragged for glamour magic reasons, like
Yeah.
being propelled by a goal and how damaging that is. And I
Yeah.
think like Death Becomes Her is also another cautionary tale of like having the glitz and glamour can be an asset and it can be like your biggest shadow.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love that.
But yeah,
Mm.
Love Witch definitely in there too, for sure. I think like the witchy
Mhm.
scientist side of myself exists there.
That makes so much sense. Would you say that, like, because you are a person of many projects and many things, do you think Love Witch is your, like, toil and trouble soap sorcerer phase? Is
Yes.
that how that interact or, like,
Yes.
overlaps?
I think
Interesting.
so. I think like it all kind of coexists. Oh, this
Mhm.
is gonna be so mm, chaotic to talk about, but like
Come
in
on, Eris.
the vision of my world, right, of my like universe, I would say um there's a character that exists, and what I've named her is Feral Flawless,
Ooh.
and that alter ego came up from working with soft power. They have
Uh-huh.
like an experience where you're looking at like the exalted version of yourself and
Uh-huh.
like playing into that. And where feral comes from is toil land. So if
Uh-huh.
you look at my like Instagram handle, it's toil and trouble.
Uh-huh.
But if you just think of like babes in toyland, okay, I came from toil land. I'm making not toys. I'm toiling away at like other crap. Um, but the trouble component comes into play, I think, from the mad scientist, right?
Mhm.
So um I also really love like Batman villains, specifically Poison
Oh.
Ivy.
Yep.
And I love the narrative of like someone who has this like state of brilliance
Mhm.
suddenly exploited by some sort of system that doesn't accommodate them, and then
Yes.
them throwing that system away and making a new life for themselves. Um,
Mm.
so in Farrell's instance, instead of being this scientist that's making abominations for everybody else,
Mhm.
what do my own abominations look like? And like, how can I play with those monsters that I've crafted in Toyland? Um,
Ooh.
yeah. And then over time, I think Farrell's been willing to leave
Uh-huh.
all of the like stress and toiling of that more corporate environment or that
Yeah.
like rigid way of thinking. And that's kind of where Vibe Nation came to be too. It's like, oh, what would it look like if I like created on my own terms?
Ooh. First of all, I love that. I love the Farrah Fawcett play here. Like
Yes.
that's perfect, especially with like when I think about you in like wigs, it's that. It's that. Like
Yes.
it's
Yes.
perfect. I
Yes.
I love Farrell's so much.
Mm.
I love the like chaos and order which like I guess in everybody's life, but specifically in a lot of the things that you share are so heavy and present and I love
Mm.
that you have been able to like I don't know, I guess deify them as like
Mm. Mhm.
beings, but just to
Mhm.
like be able to unpack these aspects of yourself and your journey in such
Mhm.
a powerful and like reverent way, I think is
Mm.
really potent. I
Oh.
think that's really special.
Mm.
Especially just like, I don't know, being a fucking queer person, being femme presenting, having this like
Mhm.
ability to let yourself be feral, to let yourself be like super structured, to be in the
Mhm.
woods, to be like absolutely everywhere, and then like to simultaneously be electricity in this conceptualization is fucking awesome to me. That's
Mhm.
like that's such a fucking cool thing. Like you're just cool. That's
You're
that's
just cool.
it.
Do you have like an alter ego or like a like we I've
Mm.
experimented with you in that building the universe, but the deification component is like who's the holy himbo or like
Ooh.
tell me more about your
See,
world.
see, I don't think the Holy Himbo's somewhere. I feel like I haven't tapped into him yet. He's
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
Um, I find that like a lot of the ways I like deify myself are like reflected in a lot of like the spirits that I work with, similarly to like
Mm,
obviously you.
yes.
I think for a long time I spent a lot of time in like therapy, which is going to feel like a jump, but a long time in therapy working on just like inner child stuff, like
Mm,
literally sculpting emotions I didn't feel like I was able to form as a child.
yes.
Um, and I attributed and like devoted a lot of that work to the concept of like the deified infant or like the holy
Mm,
child. And
mm,
I mean that literally as like
yeah.
Jesus and specifically like the Santo Niño of Atocha, because like honestly, if I put my hair down and put on a hat, we're the same.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like
I'm baby Jesus.
we're the same king. Um
Yes.
but I also like, and my partner makes fun of me for this because she says that I only worship like mom and baby pairs. And I'm like, you are not fucking wrong because Mary and Jesus are there. And like, uh, also in this like similar archetype of like almost mischievous, like holy child, that's a really like key thing for me, is like Ganesha, who like straight up got me into therapy, like to be so real. That
Okay.
he like
Go
put
off.
me in therapy and like I constantly like thank him for that. But I do
Yes.
think there is this like I really am attracted to the idea of like inconspicuous wisdom,
Mm.
to where
Mm.
like you might not think there's anything there. I look silly or unassuming or perhaps small or something, but there's like an immense depth to what's going on back here. And
Mm.
I think that like ends up coming up a lot as a facade. That's has more of a negative connotation than I want it to, but I can't think of a better word. So
Mhm.
it comes up a lot as like a facade or like a presentation, that I do with a lot of people, and it kind of feels like playing dumb, but it's never that malicious. Because like to be
Right.
honest, I am
Yeah.
that dumb. Like it's not a joke;
Yeah.
it's real.
It's authentic.
But
Oh, man.
oh my god, truly, I think the most deified aspect of me is like I shared on Threads this like vision I had of being a tree. That if you're listening to this, go to my Threads. I believe it's pinned at the very top of my profile. But that
Okay.
I want to be like a tree conduit. And like a big thing for me in this visualization was like being connected to like the heavens and the earth, and specifically
Mm.
being like a portal. I described like the base of my area or like of my body, I guess
Mhm.
that sounds so weird, is used as like a shrine or like a meeting place, so there's like wax spilled all over and like the ground is
Mm.
kind of sticky and extra fertile from like fruit that decomposed here or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, and it's like the different branches too. It's like of air when they're
Yeah.
extending outward, and then your roots, the
Yeah.
extension of, yeah, branching inwards and in the soil. Ooh, I love that. I'm also thinking what you said about like the archetype of the like small bean,
You
the holy child and stuff.
the widow
And
guy.
the little guy, just the inconspicuous trickster. And yeah, I love that vibe. It I guess I do have a lot of like Greek mythology work that I do, but I also work with Mercury
Mhm.
and Hermes.
Yeah.
And a story that comes to mind is like when they were a baby, they like pulled one over on Apollo.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you know this story already?
I do. Please
Yeah.
go ahead though.
Oh, no, I mean, I just think it's hilarious. So, if I recall correctly, basically Hermes/Mercury had swindled Apollo's cattle, but in an effort to make it look like he had not captured them, he made them go backwards. So he couldn't define. Yeah, I feel like I'm butchering this, but anyway, I love like the idea of like that innocent one
Mhm.
that can think outside of the box because they are unrestrained from like, what the world tells them you should be able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good. I accept this reflection.
Mm.
First of all, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So then are you other also mother, or
Oh
is that
yeah.
mother someone who you work with?
Oh no. Both, I guess.
Yes.
I
Baby and
like
mama.
I think generally I like worship the concepts of like creation, sustenance, and rebirth. And like
Mm-hmm.
you can switch the archetypes out because like I
Mm-hmm.
fucks with a death god, let me fucking tell you.
Yes.
Death
Yes.
god, all mother and baby. Those.
Yes.
Those are my three. That's my trinity.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, and that's another aspect I think of Mercury that people overlook is that they're a psychopomp. So
Mm-hmm.
they're the steward between like the living realm and then taking folks to Hades and the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that aspect too of like being fluid between
Yeah.
both worlds and like I don't know. That's so interesting. Hmm.
I love that you touched on psychopomp because,
Mhm.
like, first of all, the Greeks love themselves a psychopomp. They got like 15.
So many,
Like
so many of
so
them.
many, and like individual cults have also been like, actually my god does that too, which I'm
Mhm.
like, go off, we
Go
love a
off.
good polytheist. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But I think that like having multiple like avenues towards the underworld or the afterlife is really fascinating. Like it's a fascinating implication because like people die different, and I think it's
Mhm.
important to highlight that journey can be like unique. And like
Mm.
I don't know. I imagine the journey to the underworld you'd take with like Hecate would be
Mhm.
different than the one you take with Hermes, which would be
Mhm.
different than the one you take with Thanatos.
Yes. I
So
I thought you were gonna say Thanos, and I was like, oh, the Marvel universe is my god.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, how hard would it be? Like, it wouldn't
I've
be
thought
hard to make a
about
religion out of it.
seriously, yeah. I don't know if we've like exited the window because Disney continues to flop, but
Mm.
whatever. Anyway, we're not going there.
We could bring it back. We can make heroes gods again.
Yes,
God.
exactly.
Which I think is actually a really good like reflection on society generally. Whether or not we're like deifying heroes, I think really distinguishes where we're at as like a people.
The way that the world is going, I think the trend we're going to see is deifying the villain
Ooh, yeah.
or like the goblin or
Yep.
like I don't know, but I that's an aspect of feral flawless that I like, right? So it's
Yeah.
like there's the flawless side, the perfectionism,
Hmm.
like needing to be a certain way, and then the feral side is like unrestrained, like
Yeah.
being yourself, and it is kind of villainous to do
Yeah.
that to hey, I'm the femme person on the hunting trip or whatever,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Artemis and like this order and structure feels like an energy you would channel or
Hmm.
call or find or like stumble upon. And
Hmm.
this Eris energy feels like something you've given yourself permission to access. And I think that distinction is
Yeah.
really interesting. And there's a
Mm.
lot of like, honestly, empowerment in that. I don't think many people are very willing to be a villain or villainous in a lot of ways, which like blame it on Christianity. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I do.
It's
Yeah.
all Christianity's fault.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Yeah, and dismantling archetypically like what a villain
Hmm.
means, right? So it's like prior to the villain archetype acceptance that I think we're seeing in the zeitgeist currently,
Yeah.
we brought this up because of heroes and
Hmm.
deification of heroes, and I think that interim period had been anti-heroes.
Yeah.
So like now I think we're full on villain archetype mode,
Yep.
and there's a lot to learn from someone who's willingly accepted that, oh, I'm quote unquote evil,
Yeah.
versus someone who is an anti-hero is a little bit different than that.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So I don't know.
Hmm. Do you think that there's an overlap here for your like personal villainy and like your
Mhm.
queerness? And do you think
Yes.
that like is like highlighting this kind of like deified villain, best phrase I have,
Mhm.
something that you would prioritize with like queer identifying clients? And like
Mm.
generally, how does like the villain fit into your universe building at Vibecaster?
Mm. I would say I'm experimenting with different audience names
Hmm.
because while I feel comfortable calling myself like a professional vibe caster,
Yeah.
I don't know what people within my sphere want to be called necessarily, but like something that keeps coming up for me is like the devious or the
Hmm.
deviant or like these folks that are just like demonoids in their
Yeah.
own way or something.
Yeah.
Because the folks that I end up attracting are the ones that are willing to play with their shadows. And I
Yeah.
think that's a distinguishment between get rid of their shadows or
Mhm.
hide their shadows or things like that. And I think that's a lesson that came from working with the villain archetype. And I know other people are tapped into that frequency too.
Yeah,
For
for sure.
instance, Lex Devour comes to mind. Like
Of
they
course.
have, yeah, like they
Honestly,
are.
their branding has like pervaded this ever since I said the villain. Like ever since I
It's
said
so
it, I've been
funny.
like,
Well, we have to acknowledge it then. Like give Lex
truly,
Devour. Yeah.
all the flowers.
Yes. And yeah, I'm glad that like that's becoming in conversation. Like,
Mhm.
oh gosh, I can't remember what show I was watching. It's about like a girl group punk rock band, and one of them, who's stereotypically like the archetype of the good girl,
Mhm.
is claiming, "Oh, I'm in my villain era. I'm setting boundaries and doing all this stuff." But like at its core, that's what it kind of feels like, you
Yeah.
know, if you're coming from that state of perfectionism, purity culture, to
Mhm.
then go into like a feral villainous persona, it feels like you're being wrong, you're being
Yeah.
devilish, you're evil. And it's like, who created this binary? And to your point about queerness, like
Mhm.
you're able to see through it because it's a spectrum, actually. It's
Yeah.
not like you're good or evil,
Yeah.
like Christianity wants you to believe.
Truly.
Mhm.
I think like in the sense villain and like villainy
Yes.
becomes so inherently deconstructed that like it loses all meaning in the best way possible. That
Yes.
like because the joke is like, are you a villain for saying no, for setting boundaries? Like that is so not villainous at all to me, but like yes, it is. It's part of the archetype because
Mhm.
it like opposes saying yes and doing things right and like living for other people and being a people pleaser, which like is very
Mhm.
much in this like Superman hero archetype is like you're doing
Mm.
for others before yourself. Uh,
Martyr.
but like I just I think that there's such a good opportunity to identify like when identifying as a villain to reconstruct and reclaim that idea how you want,
Mhm.
and it gives you permission to kind of just like not deal with pretense. It's like you said with like
Mm.
not participating in the binary, like you're not putting up with the bullshit.
No, no, exactly. And like a villain has that like agency, I think, too.
Hmm.
So like you can own up to like, this is the boundary, this is who I am, this is how I want to present. And if you don't like it, or if you think that's evil or wrong or whatever, I guess I'm evil then. Like I don't know. That's
Literally.
like, yeah, the way that I perceive it for sure.
Truly, literally.
Mhm.
With that being said, we are almost out of time.
Yep.
Sam, what do you wish we had more time to yap about?
So many things. Dumb. I don't even know. I hope that the listeners enjoyed our stream of consciousness
Mm, period.
and would be willing to hear it another time for us to talk about any other myriad of things. But
Yeah.
I've enjoyed listening to like your brand universe, everything that you've reflected about deification in like your spiritual practice, and
Hmm.
also how that relates to brands. And yeah, I could just talk all day about that. So
Truly. God, and I just like I have to put a hard limit on it because if not,
mhm.
I'm gonna be sitting here deconstructing like, is this Eris or is this Artemis all the time? Because now my brain is stuck on it, and I'm just like, every time you
Yes.
exist in the world, I'm gonna be like,
Like, who
which
is that?
art? Who's this? Who's
Yeah.
this? Is this feral or
Feral or flawless?
feral?
Well, sadly, there are other alter egos that exist within the brand too. We never
I
talked
just want to
about.
see a like list of the archetypes. Like, oh my god.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
need like a Power Ranger style photo shoot with like different color themes.
Oh, don't give me these good ideas because I'll do them.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I do have. Okay. Well, shit. That's. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everybody who is listening. You can find all of the links down in the description below.
Mhm.
Once again, thank you so much, Sam, for
Mhm.
being here. You can find Sam at vibe-caster.com and as vibe.caster on the socials. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.